Hey guys, welcome back to another tutorial today. If you're new here, please do also subscribe. If you're not a subscriber, thanks for always coming back, and I hope you're adding value to the videos that you've been watching on this channel. So today we're going to be using a Sunray fabric to make this flare skirt. Like, it's been trending. Have you seen pictures of this? So I decided to get a Sunray fabric to make it, and as you can see, that's me cutting the fabric with my pattern. So if that's what you want to watch, then keep watching this video to the very end. I'll be giving detailed explanations on how I came about, including the waistband. It's because it's not elastic, it's a fabric actually. So if that's what you want to see, then keep watching this video to the very end as I give detailed explanations on how to come about the skirt, including the finishes, the finishing, everything to make it look professional, okay? Look at the zipper area at the back. Everything is neat and it came out nice. So keep watching to the end. This is what a sunray fabric looks like. In case if you don't know, sunray fabrics have, it comes with its own kind of printing. Okay. So I have my skirt pattern. You cannot do this without pattern drafting because sunray fabric stretches actually. So I'm going ahead to remove my waistband and I'm using 1.5 inches as my waistband. So I'm removing it from the main skirt pattern. I'm getting it from my basic skirt pattern, okay? I'll be using my ruler to join all those dotted lines together like so. Of course, we are removing the darts. So I'm going ahead now to use my scissors to detach this from the main skirt bodies, okay? So I'm cutting it off now. I'm removing the dart rather. Yes, I'm removing the dart and I'll be using my masking tape to join it together so that it forms a whole piece to avoid unnecessary joining using the sewing machine. So I have to use my sellotape to join it together. It's now a whole piece and I'm labeling, okay? Skirt band, skirt waistband. So next thing now, we're going to be extending our bust about measurement all the way to the hemline. Okay, so my bust about measurement is 3 inches and I'm going ahead to measure 3 inches all the way down to my hemline. If you've been following my tutorials, you should get used to me doing this by now. So I'm using my ruler to join also the dotted lines together all the way down to the hemline. And I haven't done this now, I'll go ahead to remove my dart. The remaining dart, I'm going ahead now to remove the dart. You want to eliminate the dart. And now it's open. So having done that, I'm going to be cutting on that bust apart measurement line all the way. Just watch closely. We're cutting, keep going, keep going, keep cutting, keep going, cut open, and then you stop all the way to this point. So when you close up the dart, this place becomes open. Okay, and when you closed up this place, the dart becomes open. So we're going to be closing up the dart because we do not need it. Here it is now, and we're taping this down. Okay, now we have this opening. So because we need more fullness, I'm going to be cutting randomly from anywhere by the side. I'm going to be cutting randomly from anywhere by the side. Remember, the more you, if you need so much flare, then keep cutting and opening up. Keep slashing and spreading. Keep slashing and spreading. But I do not need much more flare. And my fabric isn't even enough that much. So I'm just going to be cutting only this side. Just this once. I'm going to be slashing and spreading just this once, apart from the one we got from the dart. And this is what it looks like, okay? So that's my waistband. As you can see, it's fitting properly, it's fitted properly onto the waist of the skirt. So that's my hemline, and this is what you should look like. Same thing we are going to do to the back, exact same thing to the back. Okay, so you do the same thing you did to the front to your back, and we'll head straight to cutting on the fabric. So I'm going ahead now to cut it on the fabric. Okay, remember I folded my fabric into two. I'm going to be leaving as little allowance as possible. I don't have enough fabric, so I'm leaving just as little allowance as possible. And then I'm going ahead to cut everything out properly and nice. So this is what it looks like when I am done cutting. Okay, I'm going to open it up as a full piece. This is the front, and voila, this is what it looks like. Okay, so we head straight to the sewing, which is very easy but detailed and some tricky part of it. So I went ahead to join my back pieces together, two of it. And now to fix the zipper, I had to iron an hairstay. Iron a hairstay to that particular part where the zip is going to be to stabilize it, okay? So I iron the hairstay to that part to stabilize it. And now I'm fixing my zipper all the way down. Remember, Sunray fabrics are stretchy. Do not pull while sewing. Just let it move freely, okay? Just let it move freely. Just let it move freely, okay? Do not pull while sewing. So same thing, the other side also. I have to close it up and make sure everything is in alignment. And I'll be using my pin to hold this down also. Then I'll go ahead to sew from down to bottom. Okay, after I've made sure that everything is nice and well fitted, well fixed, I'll go ahead to sew from down to bottom. You want to be sure that you're putting this zip in accordance to what you have cut so that it's at the center when you put it on. So I'm sewing from the down to the bottom, okay? I'm sewing very close as possible, but not on top of it, as close as possible. So I haven't done that now. Voila, we have fixed our zipper. So this is what it looks like. Wow. Wow, this is what it looks like. So I've done that. We'll head over to the next step. Okay. So the next step now is we want to join our front and back together. So I'm gonna have to join front and back together. And I used a tissue to that. I'm removing the tissue. The reason why I use the tissue is this fabric is very delicate. If you use a paper, you're going to pull. Okay. So needless using a paper, I have to use a tissue to sew it. So that removing it is very easy for me. So I haven't done that now. We're going to be putting the lining. For the lining, same thing you did to the same thing you sewed on the fabric, the same thing you're going to be sewing, and also the cutting, everything on the lining is the same, only the length. The lining, of course, has to be shorter than the main fabric. So exactly the sewing, the measurement you used. I'm going ahead now to fix my lining inside the skirt, like to give it that professional look, okay? You want to make sure that wrong sides are facing wrong side inside it, and you go ahead to sew. So bear in mind that as you're sewing now, this Sunray skirt definitely has to pull on its own because you are sewing on the waist. So if your waist is, for instance, 10 inches, as you're measuring on the Sunray with your tape before sewing, let's say you measure about 9 inches on or 8.5, because as you're sewing, it will stretch out, okay, and return to 10 inches. So it's not big on your waist. I hope that is understood. So you go ahead to keep sewing all the way around. I'm making sure that every stitch aligns, like the side seams, everything aligns, so it comes out nice and okay. Making sure that everything aligns so it comes out nice and okay. So I'm fixing my waistband now. I left that little space. I'll show you why. So I'll head over to sew that of the back. This one isn't fitted for the back. So I'll go ahead to get the one that, okay, yeah, here is it. So I'm going ahead to show you. I'll show you why I left that little space for the back. So while stitching the back, you want to make sure that everything is aligning. Your notch for your zipper has to be in alignment with that of the waistband and the skirt. So I'm going to have to sew from there, please. I don't know what is wrong with my thread and why it's cutting. So I'm going ahead now to sew it all the way to the side seam. And when I get to like ½ inch, I'm going to stop. The reason why I do this is it's going to be easier than kind of measuring down. See, you want to take it to that tip and then you sew. So remember, we've not measured that of the up. So I'll sew and stop about halfway so I can just finish up the down one. I hope this is understandable. I'm trying my best to explain this properly. Okay, so now that I've stitched up that of the down, this is what it looks like. I'll go ahead to measure the up because there is no kind of foundation for it yet. I'll go and measure my measurements for the upper part of it and then complete the stitching, okay? So I'm taking, this is my own measurement. You have to use your own. This is my own measurement. You have to use yours. So I'm making sure that my measurement is well taken so that when I sew it comes out nice at once. Also for the back waistband, I'm taking the measurement. So I haven't done that. I'm going to complete that very part that we stopped halfway. Okay. So having completed it now, I'll go ahead to sew everything out to come out nice. I'll sew up everything to come out nice, okay? And I'll show you guys immediately what it looks like. So here is it. This is what it looks like. So I'm going ahead to complete the rest of the waistband, okay? I'm going ahead to complete the rest of the waistband. I'm making sure that there is nothing holding up or there's no extra fabric that is at the front of it. So you want to make sure that everything is nice to avoid sewing and losing. Like I said, Sunray fabrics are delicate, so you want to be careful while sewing. So this is what it looks like. This is what our waistband looks like. Very nice and neat. The zipper, and of course when you fix this skirt hook. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.